Hi, I'm Barry Sahajian. Today we're playing a 12-bar blues. And that 12-bar blues is going to be played in 12/8. 12 beats to a measure, and an eighth note receives a full beat. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But it usually isn't counted like that, all 12 digits. What is done is you kind of put it in 4/4 with 4 sets of triplets, like 1, 2, 3, 4. And that makes it a lot easier. One of the beats, I changed an eighth note into 2 16th notes. 2 16th notes equals an eighth note, and that would be right here. You can hear when I play that D, I play twice as many notes in that one beat as the rest of the line. If you're going to learn this and learn to move around with it, you've got to have that down, you know. Now, one more thing we can change up a little bit is I am playing a hammer-on to the 9 and a pull-off. And I do that on every measure. But what if we want to change that a little bit? And now we can't change anything too much because you are responsible for laying down the foundation, but subtle changes like that make a big difference in the line and how it sounds, but they don't make a whole lot of difference for the player who's playing on top of it. They only hear a new color in there, but it's very familiar because they're hearing that same rhythm. Now there was a subtle change. What I did was I played the hammer-on and the pull-off going from flat 7 of the G to the root and then back. Now let me go from 1 to 4, the first 2 measures. On the first measure, I'm going to play that rhythmical figure going from F to G, which is the flat 7, to 1. And then when I go to C, I'm going to play it like I did in the example in the beginning. And that will be from the 1 to the 9. Now I'll put those 2 measures together and notice how it sounds. It's starting to have a little character, not so repetitive sounding because something changes, that nothing too much that the soloist or the people playing above you will get distracted by. And notice when I went back from 1 to 4 back to 1, I decided I would play the root to the 9. And now you have something that sounds like it's moving. You hear it, it gets the attention of the listener. Something different happened there, but nothing too distracting, because you don't want to do that to the soloist or the people you're playing with. You don't want, if you're going to play a solo, wait till you're given the solo. Hey, bass player, it's your turn. Play what you want. Then you can do whatever you want there. But this gives you kind of a little bit of a solo approach while you're being the accompanist. And if you think about it, there's a lot more places you could do that. And kind of like, I hate to repeat myself, but I learned by doing lots of gigs, playing 5 or 6 sets a night, 7 nights, 6 nights, 5 nights a week. I played. It was a different world back then, and musicians were respected as professionals more so than now, and it was common that you would work full-time. Most of the musicians I worked with had full-time jobs during the day, plus a full-time gig at night, so they doubled up. They had bags under their eyes because they were so tired, but that's their problem. You want to take on a heavy load. I just did the gig and try to live a normal life during the day, but that was tough too, because just playing a gig, playing a gig involves, driving to the gig, which could be as long as an hour or more, and drive back. There's 2 or 3 hours and 5 sets, and all the other preparation, getting putting your uniform or whatever you're wearing together and getting and boning up a little on the latest tune that you were playing. So it took up a lot of hours every day. I like changing. I mean, I'm coming from a jazz background and an R&B background and pop, I think the jazz is wonderful. The jazz really gets you educated. No matter what genre you're playing with, if you learn to play jazz, you're going to be better at all of them. Not saying that you have to play jazz. Jazz gets you way up to speed on how music works theoretically and the many possibilities. And if you want to play jazz, that's all well and fine too. I think jazz is wonderful. I love the spontaneous creativity. Right now, I'd like to try that out. Play a solo over what I just gave you because I want to see how it works. How does it feel? If I feel uncomfortable when I'm playing it, then I didn't do my job. And I would gladly do it over again. Anyway, I'd like to remind you, I'm teaching online virtual lessons, and I teach by learning what you need and what you want, as opposed to just going through a book, and I personalize the lessons that way, and it works very well. And I take my time. I get to know you, what you're about, how much technique you have. Do you read? Do you not read? I don't care either way. I'll teach you with whatever you have already, and I'll make it go this way instead of this way. Horizontal. We want it to go up. You want to get better. I'll leave you information on the description below on how you can get in touch with me if you want to study. But right now, let me try playing solo over this and see how it sounds. You can let me know if you like it or not. Thank you.